welcome back to the channel. Happy Friday. Just want to say I appreciate all the recent support on the channel and everyone who supports my channel. Thank you guys. Shout out to any new subscribers. I appreciate it. More DC news coming out. There's been so much going on recently. If you want to catch up on some of the stuff that's been going on, you can head over to my channel and check out some videos over the past few days. But continuing on in that line of thought, DC Films' Walter Hamada was on the brink of exit after Batgirl cancellation. So we know that they're starting over with new executives, new leadership, obviously after the merger with Discovery. So I don't think this comes as much of a surprise. Let's go ahead and read some of the article to find out some details. Amid the shelving of the HBO Max film Batgirl and the clear desire of Warner Bros. Discovery chief David Zaslav to find new leadership for the DC Universe, DC Films president Walter Hamada has come to the verge of exiting the studio and consulted with counsel. Hamada has now agreed to remain in his post at least until the October 21st release of the Dwayne Johnson film Black Adam. He's pausing, says a source. The decision has not been made to make this adversarial yet. Hamada could not be reached for comment. The tension comes as Zaslav has vowed to do what he has called a reset with respect to DC, with the 10-year plan he hopes will allow the brand to compete with Disney-owned Marvel Studios, which has built the biggest film franchise in history. Okay. We think we can build a much stronger, sustainable growth business out of DC, Zaslav said during Thursday's earnings call. As part of that, we are going to focus on quality. We're not going to release any film before it's ready. DC is something we can make better. So for more on that and the earnings call and more of what David Zaslav said, you can check out my video from yesterday and get a little bit more details about how he was describing their 10-year plan that they want to execute with DC and having a team dedicated to DC only, focusing on DC, the universe, the live action universe, basically. And probably other things under DC also, but especially large scale and theatrical releases. An insider says Warner Brothers Pictures Group co-chairpersons and CEOs Michael DeLuca and Pam Abdi, who are overseeing DC until Zaslav settles on new leadership, informed Hamada at a recent Black Adam test screening that Batgirl, a $90 million film that was in post-production, would be shelved. The explanation was that given Zaslav's strategy, the picture wasn't strong enough to release theatrically and was too expensive for a streaming release. The company, under pressure to cut costs, elected to take a write-down on the project. A source with knowledge of the situation says Hamada was upset at not being consulted and concerned about the impact on those involved in making the film. On August 2nd, before talent and their representatives had been informed of the decision, the New York Post broke the news that the film had been shelved. The Post reported that the film had low test scores and said a source described it as irredeemable. Again, I don't think this is much of a surprise. Usually with mergers in this industry, well, really any industry, I guess, when mergers happen and you have new people coming in, it makes sense that a lot of the people are either going to leave the company entirely or they're going to kind of be like transferred to a different division or take on a different role in the company. Kind of like Toby Emmerich is still going to be under Warner Brothers Discovery, but he's going to move over to the New Line area, the New Line studio of that, and have his own production company. So he's not completely leaving, but he's not obviously going to be involved with DC anymore. And I think after we saw, Ann Sarnoff and Jason Keeler, all of those people are going to be leaving. I think the next person we're probably expecting was Walter Hamada. And now with all of these recent changes coming to light and expecting more to happen as well, makes sense that Walter Hamada probably wouldn't be sticking around either. Because as I was mentioning in my previous videos, with all of these changes coming out, the old regime did not have a cohesive, coherent strategy that they were following. And so now that Zaslav is there and is putting in new executives and new leadership, and they want to have a clear-cut, organized strategy for this massive universe and massive world of DC, you're not going to if these people were not executing that kind of strategy that you want to have moving forward, then you're not going to keep those people around, because clearly they have shown what their lack of strategy has produced. There was a strategy in the beginning, and then they just started doing kind of whatever, grasping at straws to just put whatever they could out, just releasing whatever they could, and kind of announcing random projects, and not really following much of a strategy besides trying to distance themselves from the Snyderverse, which is their own property as well. So we know how all of that has happened. We know all about that stuff. I'm not saying that Zaslav is going to restore the Snyderverse and we're just going to get everything that we've been wanting and hoping for. No, I'm not saying that. But it's obvious that they are making decisions that would not have been made under the previous leadership. For example, bringing in Ben Affleck's Batman to be an Aquaman, shelving Batgirl, focusing, obviously he had, if you watched my video from yesterday, and if you've seen some of the quotes and statements made from Zaslav from the earnings call yesterday, he was focusing very heavily on quality, producing things that are high quality, and not just, trying to have this constant, rotation of content being put out. Oh, we need to have more, we need to have more, we need to have more. Just put out something every few months, every year, several times a year. No, focusing on quality. Like he said, they're not going to release things that are not ready and that are not up to those standards. And something, again, that has a very distinct, clear-cut, organized vision and strategy moving forward. So I think this is exactly what DC needs. I know if he brought up that they want to kind of follow a similar structure to what Disney has done with and Marvel with their structure, not copying the material, not trying to follow in their footsteps of what they're doing, but having a vision and a strategy to guide and build their universe upon, having a strong foundation, and not just like taking it one movie at a time and decide, like having a long-term strategy makes sense. You have to do that if you're going to build out this massive universe. It shows that they are making DC a priority, which Zaslav also mentioned, and I'm really happy to see them stepping up and like vocally expressing how they feel about DC and what they see, what they envision moving forward with it. I take it all. I think it's been very positive. All of these things that David Zaslav has had to say so far, I think that they are getting the organization and structure that they need right now. And it's good to see someone coming in. And there, like I said, they had that at the beginning, and then they kind of just like didn't. All of a sudden, everything was a mess. And hopefully, they get back to being structured and organized and having a good relationship with their fan base, as well as directors and cast and people that work for them. So thank you guys for watching. Check out the links in the description if you are interested, and don't forget to leave a thumbs up, subscribe, all of those good things. Thank you guys again. Appreciate it. See you soon.